Hello and welcome back to more Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, where in the last episode we did the investigation section for the first chapter of the game, and today we are in pre-trial prep, which... let's just get started. I have no idea what to expect. I don't know how similar this is to Ace Attorney.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course!
Okay then. Everyone, close your eyes. And whoever did it, raise your hand.
Don't be a
That is the...
why
you can't possibly think that's going to work.
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with...
I guess I don't have a purpose to be here anymore, because I guess I'm not doing voices for anyone during the trials.
They died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier. Friendship penetrates?
Okay.
I'm not even gonna comment on that one.
What about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people. Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin.
It's about to begin the debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything. Because this isn't just about me, everyone's lives are on the line. Your first non-stop debate is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? I have no idea what to expect, so yes, please. During these discussions, the characters will speak one after another without pause. It's up to you to unearth any lies or contradictions buried within their statements. What this means is that you'll have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Any relevant truth... No, I'm not gonna... I'm starting to remember that I put the logic difficulty on mean, and I'm very nervous. I mean, I know who did it. It's a matter of proving it that it's the problem. Oh, good God. Oh. What? Oh, wait.
The one who was murdered was
Okay.
Sayaka.
Yes, thanks, we know this.
And the murder took place in the coat
Yep,
room.
correct.
In the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
So it seems most likely that the killer...
Also,
must
my
have
cursor is
killed
moving
her
by itself, and I don't
while
like
she was
that.
in the bathroom.
She didn't even have a chance
What do you mean? If there was evidence of a struggle, then obviously she had a chance to resist.
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked. With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom?
She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
It really shouldn't, you're correct.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
We need to determine what was used to kill Sayaka. It was the kitchen knife. We already know that. We've already established this. Kitchen knife set. Yes, thanks, I got it. Okay.
So what was used to kill her?
The knife from the kitchen set.
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach.
The knife from the kitchen set.
That is the murder weapon.
The knife from the kitchen set.
Some random knife they had on.
No, it wasn't some random knife.
No, what's wrong?
Okay. Alright, this is,
No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder
It's very strange not doing the voices for the characters.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach.
Sort of? What do you mean, sort of? That's the first thing we noticed.
Being a kitchen knife.
You don't have to look close at all. One look and that's.
I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
That's right.
For God's sake, no, because Hina, that's her name, right? She's my alibi. She knows I didn't take it.
We presented our arguments.
No, I have an alibi.
Point of the trial.
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
Who's trying to point fingers the most? I wonder if we should talk about that guy. I don't know. Well, that's just a theory. She's right. There's got to be a breakthrough somewhere just waiting. You know who can confirm your alibi. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? You can concentrate by holding down the space key. While you're concentrating, time will slow down so you can pay close attention to what everyone's saying. On top of that, it'll steady your aim, making it easier to target potential weak spots. Concentrating like this consumes the focus gauge, and if this gauge empties, you can't concentrate.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret.
No, someone was there. Someone was absolutely there. She knows that I wasn't there to take it. This is very, very easy.
I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier? Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall. But I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together and lying to protect each other?
Idiot swimmer girl? Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But what if they did work together, and they just didn't know about the rule?
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case! Oops! Did I say that out loud?
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife, so I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then
Leon.
who did take the knife?
Hina seems the obvious candidate.
What?
After all, she just said she was in the dining hall. No way! I swear it wasn't me!
She knows the people who went through there, so yes. Oh, the other people.
That
Yes, exactly.
That's right. Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because,
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over.
Which means we have airtight alibis.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations? We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the
Exactly.
dorms. But it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room, so I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together?
I'm Taka.
Wholesome, but
Yeah, I was about to say, you do realize there's so many ways to break down the thing you just said. I don't. Okay, we're just gonna move on.
What possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because
Sayuka took the knife
they're
back.
not here anymore.
Sorry, Sayaka. Not Sayuka.
She's the one who came to the dining hall.
Okay. Okay, so the person who took the knife from the kitchen was Sayaka.
Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility.
Rocket science, I know.
On it. She was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
And the person who took the knife was the victim
She
herself.
did say she wanted something for self-defense.
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was
I mean,
killed with it?
if it was in the room, then yeah.
You may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
What?
See? He did do it after all.
No, you're wrong.
So, that's how you would twist
You're
the
the worst character in the game so far. I hate you with a fiery passion. I know, using logic is pretty terrifying.
Terrifying talent.
Damn, I noticed something they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? If they convict me, everyone's gonna die.
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer.
Alright, I've made my decision. Her, Hina, and that other person. I don't remember her name. The one we talked with in the last episode. Sorry, 2 episodes ago. Those are the 3 that we're gonna try to get closest to. I literally don't care about anybody else.
Something was missing
At
from
all.
the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Your first Hangman's Gambit is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Hangman's Gambit? What? What is this? What? Oh, okay, I get it. It's hair, right? H-A-I-R, okay.
Now I understand. That's right. There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
So, the
Hiro, that was the name. So Hiro, Hina, and Kyoko. Those are the 3 we're gonna try to get close to in upcoming free time sections.
In my own room. It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Yes, very true, very true.
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Wait, then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then, Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom.
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence.
Yes, I remember that the doorknob was broken. I don't have a pitiful memory. The killer struggled getting into the bathroom, and the evidence that proves that is the, where's the broken doorknob? Oh, I have to, oh, right mouse button, okay.
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner.
Yes, because I'm the only one who actually knew the secret of getting into the freaking bathroom. Well, me and Sayaka, but, you know.
You break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You idiot! I knew the secret to get into the goddamn bathroom! I didn't need to break the doorknob!
Hopefully that will help you understand.
Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? There's a bit more to learn about nonsense debates. Would you like to hear more? Sure thing. From here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up, but no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. What I'm trying to say is not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what they said, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage. Now, this is important because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you fail. You have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room.
Okay.
She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her.
Okay.
They got into the bathroom.
Yep.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
Nope. That's where you're wrong. That is where you are wrong. There's no lock there. It's not that the door was locked, it's that the door is broken.
The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup. True as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door, that's not lucky at all.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place?
Well, the
Everyone
signs were
should have known you
switched,
can't
so
lock
I
any
don't
of the
know
doors
why the
open.
signs were
The
switched,
killer
but
could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
one important detail, something the killer didn't know. For some reason, they were convinced the door was locked, which means the important detail the killer didn't know was that the crime took place in my room because the signs were
The killer
switched.
must not have realized that it was my room.
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to
The
be more
signs were
specific,
switched.
What the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. The killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door open.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto...
Which would be everybody who wasn't me and her.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up.
Oh, what's that? Were you incorrect about something? Oh no, whatever will you
Can't
do?
decide on who we think did it.
Well, why don't we just
Then
vote
we're
right
all
now?
screwed.
Majority rules.
Majority rules?
No,
really think that's a
no,
good
that's a
idea?
terrible idea. What?
Our next
Why would you
line
ever
here.
propose that idea?
Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then... maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No.
Except for the part where she was terrified of letting anyone, and I specifically told her not to do that because she was terrified.
Sounds like someone doesn't know his place.
Buddy?
Hello?
You do not want to be talking about knowing their place. Because the reason that we switched rooms is to prevent it. Also, you're pointing straight, but the person you're accusing is right next to you.
Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place. Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two. 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil, and these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the word. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't.
I didn't. But
Of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
Then that note, yeah, Sayaka wrote it?
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
Well, fortunately, you're all 2D cardboard cutouts in the 3D world, so, you know.
I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention.
Oh, here we go. Make your argument. Okay, we actually get to do something again. Dorm nameplates. Alright.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct?
Yes.
But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
Uh-huh.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying
No,
in.
because the nameplates were switched.
No, it's wrong. The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms.
Alright, this is very, very easy so far.
That's right. The nameplates
I get that that's the first
just
case,
like the
but I
rooms
mean...
themselves. As a result, the
This
nameplate on
is
Sayaka's
really,
room actually
really
had
easy.
Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
I like how she's already figured this all out, but she's just like stringing us along.
Was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right.
Okay, then who did it?
Well, if Sayaka had actually wrote the note, then she would have been the one to switch it so that she could make sure her
Me and
visitor would have
Sayaka
actually
were
gone to the
only
right
ones
room.
Who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note. She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out. We know who did it.
Oh wow, you're so smart. You figured it out. You just figured out Blue's Clues. You just figured out Blue's Clues because you're really smart.
There in the room. Yes, perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's
Because
what
there's
broke her
pieces
wrist?
of the paint from the sword on her wrist. The reason I know Cyrus was broken with a fake sword is because there is... yeah, this right here.
All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear, right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See? It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword! Right there on
Wow,
her wrist!
dude, you're so smart! You're such a genius. You, honestly, you're 200 IQ plays from you here.
It's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room and what led to Sayaka's death, that's what we need to make clear. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Well, I can't wait to hear more. Are you getting used to these non-stop debates? I don't know if used to is the right word. I'm tolerant of them. I basically just wait for the correct thing to pop up and then I click it. How many we gotta work with here? Make your argument. Replica sword sheath, kitchen knife set, and replica sword. Okay, good to know.
The culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. The sword-based sneak attack.
Sword-based sneak attack. I don't know about that. Yeah, because the sheath had already been scratched up, so there's no way the sword is what was used first.
Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Why not?
Because the sword sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead. Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it. So
Alright, here we go. The big revelations from Big Brain over here.
Found the kitchen knife.
Jimmy Neutron speaking.
They took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself.
Jimmy Neutron 2.0. Can we reboot Jimmy Neutron except this guy's the star? I mean, honestly.
They took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
The part of her body that shows she never uses swords or palms. Easy. She doesn't have any of the gold paint on her hands.
You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking
Because her hands are completely clean. She doesn't have any gold paint on them.
The gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped.
Why would she have done that? Oh, I'm being attacked by someone. Wait, quick, let me just wash my hands real quick.
You say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
What?
That's not it at all.
Hey, baby, like, how do we go from one thing to the other? What?
According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower yet.
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
Why would you ever take that as a compliment?
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
Sayaka. It would obviously be Sayaka.
Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Now do you understand?
Well, that's a twist.
She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
Sayaka was the one who attacked first.
Almost as if she'd been planning to commit.
And now that would actually explain why the signs were switched. Because if the signs were switched around, then that would clear her of any blame. Because it would have been in my room. It's kind of a clever twist.
Which brings up another
I guess it would explain why she was so quick to try to befriend me.
Who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room, where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out, while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation, a totally forgettable kid, or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it. Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
There's a time limit!
Yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this.
It's Leon. I don't have to think about it. It's Leon.
Sayaka. It's over for all of us.
Why have we not brought up the writing on the wall yet? The literal writing on the wall. Why have we not brought that up yet? That's kind of important. What do you mean there's nothing left? What do you mean there's nothing? What do you mean? The name of the killer was literally on the wall. Dying message. We got that. This has got to be the point when we bring this out. Okay, can we?
But there just aren't any more clues, right?
Yes, there are. What do you mean?
No, it's wrong.
Okay.
There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Dining? Wait, what did you say?
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember?
No, apparently nobody did remember since it took us this long to point it out.
Written in her own blood. There must be a clue about the killer hidden in there.
Well,
flip it upside
before we get
down.
too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote?
There's no question that Sayaka wrote that message, and I can prove it because of the left index finger blood.
Her left index finger had blood on it. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it. What the heck do those numbers mean? 11037?
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
Huh? What?
No, it's just... look at
Wow,
the
this game
numbers,
doesn't want you to
assuming
figure
they're
out
not
anything
numbers.
for yourself.
Don't these first two, 1-1, look less like two
They don't want you to
numbers
figure
and
out
more like
anything
1
for yourself.
Yeah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1-1, but looking at it now...
Wow, wow, this is so hand-holdy.
You might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
But even if that really is an N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
Damn it, it's no use, I just don't know. This is not rocket science.
180
Game! Please! Let me figure out something! I already figured this out. But if you're playing this game, and you haven't figured this out by now, come on! Like, at least, like, just let the player come to the conclusion on their own, please. I don't need, there, it's okay, I'll hold your hand as we get through this game. There, I know it's too hard for you. Like, come on.
180 degrees. If you turn the message around, it becomes the letters L-E-O-N. L-E-O-N. Or more accurately, Leon.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's a hell of a coincidence there, buddy.
It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
No, it's not random at all. She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it. In that position, she couldn't move to
I
write
cannot
normally,
believe they were
and
that
had to
explicit
write
with this.
upside down, as it
That's
were.
insane.
And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, it ends up getting flipped. Try it for yourself if you want. Write something
This is
sitting like
insanity.
her, and the letters will be inverted.
Gee, it's almost like we figured all this out yesterday.
One hell of a stretch.
We literally figured all this out yesterday. The only new thing we uncovered today so far is that she was going to kill someone before she died, which is admittedly kind of a clever twist. But I mean, come on. We didn't. We had. Do you need more evidence? Okay, how about we talk about the incinerator that you turned on by chucking the glass ball at the button, which would be easy for an ultimate baseball star.
I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
As the killer stabbed Sayaka, they must have gotten some of her blood on them. And to dispose of the shirt covered in the victim's blood, they threw it into the incinerator.
But one piece burned off and got left behind.
And the killer didn't notice. If they had, they most certainly would have panicked. Isn't that right, Leon?
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that Leon
How about
is
we
guilty?
talk about the shattered crystal ball that he threw across the room?
Only one wearing a white button-up.
That's right. There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine. With just that one little charred piece.
You
there's no
are
way you can say
a
for sure
baseball
who it belongs to.
star.
You're right. That alone isn't enough. But there are some other points that may reveal the truth.
Are you finally starting to understand? The answers to all the riddles are right here.
Yeah, I think so.
The burnt remains of the button-up shirt, which the killer was able to get rid of. The something about it we need to pay attention to in order to figure out who's responsible, which is how it was disposed of. Because he had to throw the ball through the gate at the speed of a baseball player.
Who the killer is?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think I know what you're gonna say. You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right? And obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the switch to turn it on either. You need the key to get in. And the one with the key was the person on cleaning duty. So the killer
that's where you're wrong.
Care of the trash, right?
Interesting.
Nope, that's wrong. There was another way to use the incinerator than being the one cleaning you, and that's exactly what proves Leon is the real killer. Alright, we're doing non-stop debates again. Make your argument. Okay, well, if he's gonna say something about not being able to access the thing, then all I have to do is get this ready.
So the only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash?
And you'd have to get close to the
Nope.
incinerator.
No, you would not. You would not have to get close to the incinerator at all. Break.
Hold on. I think I know how someone could dispose of the evidence without using the trash room key.
But if you can't get past the gate, you couldn't possibly turn on the incinerator, could you?
Wrong.
Yes, you could. If you used this.
What is it, some kind of glass ball? It's busted to hell.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be a crystal ball,
But how would you use it?
Killer had to use the glass ball a certain way, which was to throw it.
The killer simply took aim at the incinerator switch and threw the ball through a gap in the gate. All they had to do was hit that switch, and the incinerator would come to life.
Someone threw a gap in the gate?
Remember what you said before, Hifumi? Hifumi had the key. So the only way the incinerator could have been turned on without his knowledge was because the killer was able to hit the switch without opening the gate. Once they got the incinerator going, all they had to do was ball up the shirt and toss it in.
Hey, come on! What the hell is this?
All you have to do is look at the scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass, the incinerator left running, the piece of shirt that escaped the fire. If the killer had been on cleaning duty, the evidence would have been taken care of much more thoroughly.
Wait, no, just hold on.
But the distance from the gate to the incinerator has to be at least 30 feet, right?
He's an ultimate baseball star, it doesn't matter. He's an ultimate baseball star, that's literally his only defining character trait.
That's right, there's no way. It'd be impossible.
Difficult, absolutely. Impossible? I don't think so. Because the killer is...
An ultimate baseball star. There we are, ultimate baseball star.
Because the killer is the ultimate baseball star. Isn't that right, Leon?
Do you have any idea how stupid you sound right now?
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball star.
You can't be serious. I'm not the killer! These goddamn shipper brains have got it all wrong, I'm telling you!
You still won't admit it? Okay then, Makoto. Go ahead and review the incident one more time to make his crime perfectly clear. And with that, we can end this.
Listen to me! What the hell do you mean, end this?
Say what you want, Leon. But all the questions have been answered. And the truth has been revealed. Now here's what happened.
The closing argument is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Please tell me how to play. Every case has one last element to bring the class trial to an end. This is a closing argument. In this phase, you'll give a complete summary of the case. You'll have to reproduce the flow of events for the case in the form of a comic book. However, you'll notice that in the comic there are a number of pieces missing. It's up to you to complete the comic using the provided truth panels. Also, if you take aim at a missing action and press the left mouse button, holy cow, you'll get a hint that might lead to a breakthrough. Well done, good luck, and have fun. Okay. Finish the thought. We have 10 minutes to do this? Okay, that's pretty easy. Okay, so, oh wow. Oh, okay, so Act 1. This is also kind of a cool way to summarize what happened.
Here's exactly what happened. I think I'd better take one more look back at the case from the beginning. Last night, the killer went to the room Sayaka was in. In other words, my room. From what we can tell, Sayaka invited that person there intending to kill them. She attacked them with the knife she'd taken from the kitchen earlier. But then something happened that she wasn't prepared for. They grabbed the fake sword I put in my room and fought back. During the struggle, a strike from the sword broke Sayaka's right wrist. And that's when she lost her grip on the kitchen knife. Finding herself cornered, Sayaka panicked and ran into the bathroom. The killer went after her, but couldn't get the bathroom door open. What they didn't know was that my bathroom door got stuck easily, and there was a trick to opening it. Sayaka knew about that because I told her, but of course the killer had no way of knowing. So instead, the killer forced the door open, took the kitchen knife, and stabbed Sayaka. But with what strength she had remaining, Sayaka left a dying message. To keep the killer from noticing, she wrote it on the wall behind her. And with that, all her strength was gone. With Sayaka dead, the killer quickly began destroying the evidence. First, they took off their shirt, which was covered in their victim's blood. Then they took the lint roller in my room and cleaned up the entire area. They wanted to make sure they got rid of any trace they'd ever been there. Afterwards, the killer headed to the trash room to destroy their bloody shirt. They tried to burn the shirt using the incinerator there.
On second thought, take it back. This is an extremely drawn-out way of describing what happened. You really could just show the comic book. This is kind of like, you know what this is like? This is like Tiny Planets. It's a strange comparison, but when Tiny Planets initially aired in the UK, Holly wasn't a character. So basically, it was just Bing and Bong doing their adventures, and you could watch and figure out what was happening for yourself. Pretty obvious. But when they released the show in the US, they added a narrator called Holly, because they're like, oh, kids here are too stupid to figure out things for themselves. And the narrator was like, wow, so if you walk through this gate, you become bigger, and it just passive-aggressively explained everything that was happening in the show to you. That's what this feels like. It's like you could just let the comic book play out, and we can see what's happening. You don't need to explain it.
Which then quickly roared to life. Having destroyed the final piece of evidence, they left the area with, I imagine, a sigh of relief. But there was one thing they missed. Part of the shirt they'd thrown into the fire burnt away and fell out of the incinerator. The killer didn't notice this, and so left behind a piece of indisputable evidence. Isn't that right, Leon?
Okay, we did it. We solved the mystery.
It would appear that Hero simply forgot his crystal ball.
I mean, we pretty much solved that whole thing yesterday, but, you know, whatever.
You went there to try and wash the blood out of your shirt, and that's where you saw it, right? Seeing the ball, you thought of a way to take care of everything.
So, Leon, do you object to anything that's been said?
Do I object? Hell yes, I object! Of course I do! I object! I object! I object! I mean, all of this is just a bunch of stupid theories. You need evidence.
There's like 6 million pieces of evidence. Pick your favorite. Pick your least favorite. I don't care. There's like a mountain of evidence against you, buddy.
It's bullshit, and I refuse to acknowledge it.
What do you mean? What do you mean, you silly sack of shit?
Good a time as any to present the evidence that proves you did it. Makoto, I believe you're in possession of that evidence.
I have the evidence. Your first bullet time battle is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? What?
Whoever broke the bathroom doorknob, they didn't use anything from your room to do it. So what did the killer use?
I refuse to acknowledge
probably a screwdriver from the toolkit.
Stupid!
Okay, great. Thanks for the insults. Now, where's your evidence that you're innocent? You can keep trying. It's not gonna work. Beat Saber time.
Where's your proof? You kidding me?
I'm not doing this correctly, am I?
Not a chance. Stupid.
I can't aim. Am I supposed to be? This isn't correct, am I?
Shut up. Where's your proof?
I'm not doing this correctly. Okay, I'm locking on.
Not a chance.
What?
Stupid.
Okay, what?
Shut up. Here's your proof.
Am I doing something wrong here? What the? I'm locking on. Okay, I did it. Yay, I did it. I did it. Okay, great. Got it. Okay, great. I think I'm doing this kind of, maybe. Lock on. Great. Okay, so just keep doing this, and then once I can lock on, so I'm just gonna hit both. I'm just gonna hit both left mouse button and right mouse button. Oh, good Christ! Final strike.
Where's your proof?
This should prove it.
Oh, I did it. Apparently. Okay, great. I win. Whoa, my God! What was that?
Screws on the bathroom doorknob were removed. I wonder what kind of tool the killer used to remove that.
I mean, It had to be a screwdriver, right?
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure the toolkits we got each had one inside.
And that must be what he used. There aren't any other tools anywhere.
But the toolkit in my room had clearly never been used.
That's because the culprit didn't know it was your room. They thought they were in Sayaka's room.
Only the boys got toolkits, so the killer naturally assumed there wouldn't be one in there.
Okay, then whose toolkit did the killer use?
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
It had to be their very own toolkit.
Stupid, 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 stupid!
Leon, would you mind showing us your toolkit? If I'm right about this, the screwdriver will show some evidence of being used.
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
And if you say you used it for something else, you'll have to explain exactly when, where, and why.
And let me say this right now. I lost it isn't an excuse at this point.
Stupid. Stupid.
So, you have no rebuttal?
Then it would seem we are finished here.
That's not a creepy image at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, we did it! Yay! Alright, I got an A. Yay. Okay. I don't feel any satisfaction from that whatsoever.
Then are
But
we ready
we
to
did it.
cast our votes? You all have a lever in front of you. Use it to make your selection. Oh, just to remind you all, make triple sure you vote for someone. You wouldn't want to be punished for something so minor, right? Okay, then let's get excited! Who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice? Or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Okay, time to vote. Yay!
Uh-oh, looks like you got it right on the money! The Blackened in this case, the one that killed Sayaka, was none other than Leon!
Huh?
This is such a creepy visual.
Hey, hold on.
Hold on a second. Leon, did you really kill Sayaka? I don't believe it!
You son of a bitch!
I didn't have a choice.
It was kill or be killed. Who are you, Flowey from Undertale?
Why? None of you are any different!
It was complete chance that I wound up like this. Unlucky, that's all.
That's all. Hey, come on!
Everything's become clear. The decision we made was right after all. But when I think about that, honestly, I'd be better off if we'd been wrong. Because if what we came up with really is the truth, then that truth is that Sayaka was trying to frame me. But even if that's true, I can't say she was wrong. After all, the mastermind, it's all because of that video. Even I couldn't handle what I saw in there. If it was her and that video and that video actually had something to do with me, I can't even imagine. The one thing that was more important to her than anything else, her dreams, her friends, is to have to see something like that happen to them in Sayaka. And that's why Sayaka, for the friends that meant so much to her, that's why she betrayed me. So when she said,
No matter what happens, please always be there for me. I need you on my side.
she was lying to me from the very beginning, she was using me. Is that why she talked to me in the first place? Yes, I guess I'll never know. Oh, I know. Because there's nothing I can do to ask her what she was thinking. Once you're dead, that's that.
Boy, howdy, the entertainment industry must sure be terrifying, I mean, to try and kill someone just because of those relationships. She seems so nice and lovely on the outside, but inside she's descended into pure madness. Compassion, intimacy, love.
Stop screwing with us, this is all your fault. Sayaka being forced to do something like that all but everything. It's all your fault. Suddenly the friends I had lunged at Monokuma, but...
That's enough.
As angry as I was, Koyo latched onto my arm without hesitation.
Calm down.
If you really want to make your enemies pay for what they've done, you need to let it go for now.
Damn it.
Ah, that was a close one. I thought for sure you were gonna give me a good walloping.
Yes, indeed.
This barely avoided punishment you did.
Punishment? You mean execution? Wait a second!
I didn't have a choice, I had to kill her.
Yeah, that's it.
I was just protecting myself in the heat of the moment. It was self-defense.
When you forced your way into the bathroom, did you or did you not use your very own toolkit? After she shut herself in the bathroom, you went out of your way to head back to your own room. You had any number of chances to stop what you were doing, but you chose not to. Is it not because you had an unclouded intent to commit murder?
I've had enough of this.
Are you sure? You were closer to her than anyone, were you not? Who killed your precious Sayaka, do you understand?
I can't say Lena's solely to blame. Of course, I don't plan on blaming Sayaka either. Because the one to blame is him. If it weren't for you, this never would have happened. We shouldn't be fighting each other. We should be fighting against the one who put us in the situation, the mastermind.
Well, it just so happens that there's nothing more unethical than an unwavering sense of justice. After all, it's people with that sort of mentality that perpetuate war all over the world.
Just shut up.
Okay, well anyway, more importantly, let's hurry up and get to what everyone's been waiting for, the punishment.
Hey, come on now.
Stop, please!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
No.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
No!
Jesus Christ. Like, here's the thing. I still, just like when, whatever her name is, oh my god, like, totally whatever. Just like when she died, it's like, I didn't have a personal connection with him or her, like, with either of them to like, for that to hit me on a personal level. But just, like, strictly from a human level, it's like, watching that, like, god. F***ing hell, we have to watch that every single time we do this bullshit? Okay, that's not nice.
Say what? Well...
So are you putting an upstanding young citizen like me through such a grueling ordeal?
I don't know if I'd call you an upstanding citizen there, pal.
That's like trying to put a mile on a scale. I just don't think it's possible. I don't think what you're saying and what I'm saying quite fit together.
They really don't. You piece of shit, I don't know who you are, I'm gonna pound your ass to the ground.
You must really hate me to get so angry, huh? If you do that, you're barking way up the wrong tree. No matter how much time passes, you can't cut free of your regrets from the outside world. You're to blame.
Also, I totally kind of called it, by the way. I was correct on both instances. I was correct that she was gonna betray us, which she did. She tried to kill someone. And I was correct that she was gonna be the first one to die. So, double prediction, in addition to getting everything else right. When you say everyone, who's that you referring to?
Sorry, I said everything I gotta say. I need to save some of the fun for later.
Just like that, he was gone. He left us there overwhelmed by a nightmare turned to reality. Even after he was gone, we stood there forever unable to move. Actually, no, it wasn't that long, I think. Everyone just lost a sense of time. We were all too scared. Scared of being alone. No one even tried to speak. No, there was an attempt to speak there. They just didn't.
Just a second.
Can I talk to you for a second? She moved in close and whispered into my ear.
Makoto.
Before we head back, there's something I want to talk to you about.
It's about Sayaka, isn't it?
I'm surprised you figured it out.
Listen.
I told you before the class trial started, you had to figure out the mystery of this case yourself. You wanted me to realize how Sayaka betrayed me by myself, didn't you? Sayaka meant to double-cross you. That's a fact that you can never change. I mean, to be clear, I totally called this. If she was thinking of me, you can't just say something like that. I mean, there's no way you can know that. Only Sayaka would know for sure, we can't ask her now. Even if you can't ask her, you can infer, don't you think? Her final thought was how she could protect you. What?
So...
The fact that she used her last ounce of energy to leave her dying message proves that if she didn't care what happened to you, she never would have left that message. Well, maybe she just wanted to get back at the person who had killed her. It's certainly one possibility, but I don't think that's what it was. And she wasn't sure she could kill someone or deceive, which is why her plan failed. Her hesitation attracted failure. It's almost ironic when you think about it. Why are you telling me all this? Because she's the kind of person who can overcome this. Because you can move past the deaths of your friends, Sayaka and Leon, and keep moving forward. So unfortunately my commentary just cut off. I don't know why, but whatever the case may be. Basically my thoughts on this so far was that it was really dull. It might just be that the mystery itself, like maybe it'll get harder. It might be that this mystery in particular was just not challenging at all. Or maybe it's that the core gameplay just isn't that difficult just because it's like waiting for the correct statement to appear and then you click the left mouse button. I mean, Hangman's Gambit was kind of interesting. That Guitar Hero section at the end was just insane, and just like, what was the point? The comic book, putting it together was interesting, but actually, like, having it play out in front of you was just really drawn out. Like, we didn't need the narration. I don't know. The best part of that chapter was the investigation section. The actual
like, the character building was really slow, and then this was just dull. I don't know. This game isn't really pulling me into it so far. It's like, I'm not really gripped. I'm not super engaged. It's not that interesting, unfortunately. I don't know, I'm still holding out hope, but this first chapter did not impress me all that much. Alright, well, that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time to catch you all tomorrow for some more Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Goodbye.